In this video, I will explain about how a simple PHP Hello World project will deploy into AWS ECS, which is Elastic Container Service, using the continuous deployment tool, which I have used GitHub Action and the Docker file, because in Elastic Container Service will make use of Docker image. So this is the architecture diagram which I will going to explain now. Like once we push the code or the pull request has been raised and merged with the main repo or master branch of the GitHub repo, it should test the code, build the code and push it to the ECR, and then it should update the Elastic Container Registry and then Elastic Container Service. Now let's get into the demo for this. The prerequisite for this to work is GitHub account, AWS account. In the AWS, we need to create cluster, task definition, service, and then ECR, Elastic Container Repository. For this demo, I have already created those services through console. If you want, we can create these resources manually or through automation way, which is an infrastructure as a code using CloudFormation, CDK, Cloud Development Kit, or Terraform. Now, the very first step is like we need to create a repository which is of type private. You can give the repository name and you can give the values, the rest of the values as default values. Here I created my repository name as like my app PHP, and then you need to create a cluster. You can create a cluster which is of type Farragut, which is a serverless, and then you can create a VPC. If you want to have this cluster in a new VPC, you can create new VPC, or if you want to be in a default VPC, you left uncheck this one. And this is the cluster I have created for the testing purpose, Docker test. And then task definition. The task definition which I created is like Docker task definition. Again, this is also of type Farragut, and I have the basic values like the memory and the CPU is like 0.5 GB and 0.25 virtual CPU alone. So this is a place where we have to specify the task memory and the virtual CPU. And here we need to map our container, like the image, ECR image. We need to give the container name and the image. The image URI can be copied from here and you can give it over here. And this is the memory limit you need to give, like what is the default memory limit for your application or for your image. And then port mapping, in which port you have exposed your Docker image, and rest you can give the default values. So we'll see what is the properties or what are the values in my Docker in my task definition. So this is the revision 1. Here you can able to see like what are the values I can give. Like I have chosen the Farragut, and this is the IAM role, and the task memory like 1024 and the CPU limit 512 I have given, and I have mapped the container definition. This is the container definition. I have exposed in the port 80, and I have given the container name and the image over here. You can able to see the images and all. And this will be the container definitions, and rest I have given the default values. And this is my Docker task definition. And then next one is like service. So usually when we go for services, like to specify how many number or number of copies of your task definition to run and to maintain a cluster. Here you can optionally give a load balancer also to distribute the incoming traffic, because if you're using more number of task means to distribute the incoming traffic, we can make use of load balancer. Again, to create a service, you can choose type over here, there's a Farragut, and you need to map the task definition, and you give the service name and the task over here, number of tasks, how many tasks you need to run in the cluster. Like I have given 1, and then I give default values over here. And this is the deployment type, rolling or blue-green deployment. The next step, you need to choose a VPC where you need to keep your service, like in which VPC and which subnets, like whether it should be public subnet or private subnet. You can have those settings over here. And the load balancer, it's optional one. If you want to distribute the incoming traffic, you can choose a load balancer according to it. For this demo, I didn't choose any load balancer and all. And this is the Docker test service which I have already created. So these are the very basics or very initial step we need to have it in prior before running our deployment. Now let's go into our GitHub. So I have already created a GitHub repository for this PHP, Docker PHP, where it contains a source folder, a simple project, which is a basically Hello World project. So it doesn't have anything much bigger over here. It's just a simple Hello World project over here. And then to build as an image, right, we need to have a Docker file. For this, I have added the base image of PHP 7.0 Apache. And what this line will do is like it will copy all the files into the source folder. Inside the source folder we have only one file, right? So it will copy all the source folder and paste it in the default root folder of the web server, which is the Nginx server, and then expose the port 80. So this is the Docker file what we have in our root repository, root folder. Now our aim is to automatically build, test and push that repository to ECR, and then it should update the task definition, right, through the CED tool. So here what I did is like I have created the use this continuous deployment tool as a GitHub action. Here we can make use of a GitHub action. Here you can click on new workflow. In this repository I have already had this workflow file, but I will let you know how to create this file. Here you can click the new workflow. If you have this anything which is all related, means you can click on this configure option, or you can set up your workflow yourself, and it will comes with the default set of lines like how, when it is to push or pull request, and it has some set of lines like echo lines and all. And you can have this rename this file like to main.yaml to deploy or build.yaml anywhere over here. So this file is already there in our project. You can able to see over here inside this GitHub workflows. I can have this deploy.yaml file. So here what I did is like I have apart from the existing piece of code, I have added the piece of code over from here. Like we need to build and push the code, right? So I have added this piece of code. Before that I will let you know what are the lines will be have in the deploy.yaml file. So this is like how to when to trigger this workflow, like during push of the main branch or pull request raised on this main branch, and then under what image or under what runner my job has to run, like on which image or which system, like it is Ubuntu latest. And this one is like action checkout. I need to check out my repository, and this is just some piece of code. Like if I want to include the linting of file section, means I can include those command over here, running unit test case command over here. And this is a section. What it will do is like we are configuring the AWS credential, because AWS is a private one, right? So we need to make use of the access key and secret key by logging it over here. And I am just logging our ECR, because to push our image to any of the repository, not only with AWS, even with the Docker Hub, we need to log into that particular repository, like log into Amazon ECR, and then with the help of this login ECR, we'll be building our code. So this is a piece of code we will build, and it will push it to the repository, to the ECR repository. And then what we'll do is like task definition. We'll be downloading the task definition of the name. Like this is the name of the task definition, which I have kept in secrets. So after getting the task definition, we'll be updating the task definition file. The task definition file will be updating the container name and then image name. And then at last, after update the task definition, right, that file will be updated with the service. So once everything is done, it will create a new task in that service. Let's see how it will do. So for that, what I'm doing is like I will be updating the file over here itself. For example, in the source folder, directly I am updating over here with the example hello world Jan. Instead of Jan 9, I will be giving Jan 10, and I am giving the updating as demo on Jan 10. The comments I'm just committing directly to the main branch, so it will start triggering the build. Now if I go to the actions, means if I refresh it, you can able to see the workflow. So it started building once I checked in the main branch. Now you can able to see it over here, like what are the steps it will be doing it over here in the build. See, it will starting the job. It start the job, and it will check over here like whether any machine is there or not to run the scripts. So it will checking over here. I just refreshing the code, and it will doing everything. So inside the lint and run unit test case and all doesn't have anything, right? So just executing the code, and it will build and push the image to ECR. Now we will go and see the ECR file over here, whether the latest build image is pushed or not. Now we'll go over here and see here Jan 10. Today is Jan 10, right? So it is publish the latest, push the latest image to my repository. And the next step is like it has to, the next step in the repository, what we have in the workflow file we have given is like, now this step is done. Now it will download the task definition and then updating the task definition over there, and then it will update in the service. Now let's go and see the service over here. This is my cluster and this is my service. before that we'll see the task definition. It's existing 3, right? Now it should be 4 because we added the 4th one. This is the 4th one, and it should get updated in the task definition in the services. Inside the task, you can able to see the 2 tasks. As I said, right, it is using the rolling update deployment. Once the 4th task is entirely up and running, and only then the 3rd task will get stopped over here. Now it will get like 2 to 5 minutes to stop it over here. Until then we'll go and see the whether the application is deployed or not. For that, what you have to do is like I published in the public subnet, so it will give the public IP. For that, you can go to the task definition. Inside the task definition, you can see the public IP of this. Just copy the public IP. I'm just browsing this public IP with the port 80. So it will deploy. It will open the application. See here, this is the code which I have done, right? Demo Jan 10. So my code is deployed over there. Now let's see whether it is my service will stop the existing task or not. I think it will get stopped. See here, it's stopped. It has the latest one alone. So you can able to see the stopped one over here because we are given only one task to be run. So through the rolling update, it stopped the existing one, and the new task is working fine now because it's up and running now. So this is the way the task get deployed. If you added the load balancer over here, then you can browse this application to the load balancer itself. You don't need to go for the task definition IP and all. And one more thing is like the deploy file, right? I have given the secrets over here. Like for example, I have kept the secrets of ECS service name, cluster name, container definition, everything is secrets, and also like secret key, access key. So if you are using public repository, don't have it in the actions or in the secret files, because hackers able to get the values from here. For this demo purpose, I have kept over here and made it as a private repository. Once I make a public repository, I will remove all this key or update it to dummy keys. So by this way, the automatic deployment of Docker PHP project is done. So thanks for this video and giving the opportunity. Thanks guys.